Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives spoilers recap for Friday, April 14, reveals that Nicole Walker, Ariane Zucker, asked if Eric Brady, Greg Vaughn, had rejoined the priesthood without telling her since she imagined he was wearing his old collar. Eric insisted that he hadn't and began hallucinating that he was wearing the priest garb as well, so he pointed out he could get in serious trouble. Nicole warned that Eric should change before someone called the Pope and followed him so she could have the clothes dry cleaned. Up in Eric's room above the pub, he took off his clothes and handed them to Nicole before hallucinating that she was wearing a bikini. Nicole looked down and saw the same thing. So Eric grabbed a nearby banana and used it like a camera to snap pics of her. After Eric and Nicole reminisced about how much they loved being on the beach together, they declared that they wanted each other and fell back on the bed for lovemaking. At the Salem PD, Rafe Hernandez, Galen Jeering, finished off a couple drugged biscuits and told Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, they were like crack. Since Rafe seemed excessively loud and kept saying weird things, Jada wondered if he was okay. Rafe hallucinated that Jada was wearing a skimpy outfit and beckoning him over, so he planted a kiss on her as she tried to fight him off. Sloan Peterson, Jessica Surfety, arrived and witnessed Rafe forcing himself on Jada, so she seemed concerned about the crime in progress. Rafe acted like Sloan was the guilty one and asked why she was even there. So Sloan mentioned that Jada asked her to stop by and bring her phone. After Sloan handed the phone over, she insisted they wouldn't find evidence of her harassing Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, and prepared them for the lawsuit she had planned. Rafe hallucinated that Sloan was Duke the Bear, so he marveled over the vet doing a great job putting his head back on after decapitation and hugged her awkwardly. Once Rafe started to stumble and admitted he wasn't feeling so great, he collapsed on the floor. Next on Friday's Days episode, Sloan showed up at Eric's place right as the drugs started to wear off for him. Eric seemed confused as he answered the door with a pillow covering his nakedness, but he told Sloan that he was in the middle of getting dressed. Sloan eventually barged in and found Nicole in Eric's bed, so she flew into a rage. However, Nicole and Eric admitted they'd been seeing things and didn't know how this happened, so Sloan thought it sounded like they'd been drugged. At home, Gabby Hernandez, Camila Banas, called Lee Shin, Remington Hoffman, baby, and insisted things were just getting started between them. Lyle warned Gabby not to mess with him, but he ultimately realized she was confusing him for Stefan Demira, Brandon Barash. Gabby wanted Stefan to make love to her and encouraged Lyle to come with her to the bedroom, so he followed before deciding he couldn't do it. Lay didn't want Gabby like this, so he tried to help her understand that he was her current husband, not her ex. The drug finally started to wear off for Gabby, who was baffled over the mistaken identity news and threw up in Lay's direction. At the Dimera mansion on Friday's DOL show, Stefan hallucinated that Melinda Trask, Tina Huang, was Gabby and told her that she was the only woman for him. Melinda admitted she thought they might grow closer while working together, but she didn't want to get her hopes up. After Melinda's towel dropped, Stefan stripped down to his underwear and almost made love to her before the drug wore off. Once Stefan realized Melinda was in bed with him instead, he jolted up and wondered what happened to Gabby. Melinda began to experience her own hallucinations and imagined Stefan was laughing at her, so she said she'd kill him and lunged toward him. Trask started to feel ill soon after, so she vomited before keeling over. At the hospital on Friday's Days episode, Jada paced around the waiting area and hoped Rafe would be all right. Stefan brought Melinda to the hospital as well and wanted to report 2 attempted murders, so he told Jada that E.J. Demira, Dan Fiorigal, had tried to poison him along with Trask. After Stefan mentioned the biscuits they had this morning, Jada remembered Rafe's breakfast choice as the wheels started to turn. When Lyle brought Gabby to the hospital, Stefan asked what was wrong. Lai suggested that's what they were there to find out as Gaby rushed into Stefan's arms. In the town square, Chanel Dupree, Raven Bowens, agreed to marry Johnny Dimura, Carson Boatman, again, so he twirled her around and said that made him so happy. Chanel was happy too, but Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, clearly wasn't as she confronted the newly engaged and drugged lovebirds. Johnny didn't see why Wendy was so mad since she was dating Trip the Drip, but Wendy mentioned that Trip Johnson, Lucas Adams, had to skip their date and care for Joey Johnson, Tanner Stein, after his accident. Chanel wanted to send Joey a gift basket, so Johnny got distracted and urged her to put some biscuits in there. Wendy wanted to focus on the engagement that just happened and felt that Johnny was the jackass that she'd been warned about. After Wendy said she didn't think Johnny would do something this stupid because she agreed to Trip's date, she declared that they were done and stomped off. Later, Johnny admitted he was disappointed that Wendy dumped him, but he guessed he didn't blame her since he was getting married. Afterward, Talia Hunter, actress civilian, met Johnny, who declared himself Chanel's former and future husband. Chanel was confused and said she didn't want to get married anymore as the drug wore off, so Johnny shrugged it off and ultimately went home. In the Sweet Bits kitchen on Friday's Days episode, Chanel struggled to make sense of what just happened. Jada found Chanel with Talia and noted that she was there to investigate a crime. Chanel found out there were accusations involving the biscuits and wondered if there was a possibility they'd been spiked. That led to Chanel accusing Sloan, but Jada thought Sloan seemed surprised by Rafe's drugged behavior at Salem PD. Nevertheless, Chanel insisted Sloan was putting on an act and felt confident that she was behind the biscuit tampering. Talia looked rather guilty as she flashed back to dousing the biscuit dough with a vial of something the night before. Jada declared that she would find out who'd been drugging the citizens of Salem and would bring them to justice. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Talia's secret will lead to major drama, so stay tuned for updates on all the mayhem. CDL's where you want to be for the hottest Days of Our Lives spoilers, updates, and news. So make us your top DOL source. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Days of Our Lives Gossip YouTube channel for more update news.